Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What's up, Delora?
Hello, Ashley.
It's a new week. It is time for a new recap. We teased this at the end of last week's episode. We are diving into another thriller series, this time on Netflix. You might have heard about it on these internets, a little show called His and Hers, currently available to stream on Netflix. Quick summary. Two estranged spouses, one a detective and the other a news reporter, vie to solve a murder in which each believes the other is a prime suspect. Cast: Tessa Thompson as Anna Andrews, John Bernthal as Detective Jack Harper, Pablo Schreiber as Richard, Sunita Mani as Priya, Rebecca Rittenhouse as Lexi, Marin Ireland as Zoe, Crystal Fox as Alice, Jamie Tisdale as Rachel, Chris Bauer as Clyde Duffy, and Poppy Liu as Helen Wang. Reviews: Rotten Tomatoes, 68% critic score, 60% audience score, and 66% of Google users gave this series a thumbs up. Delora, what is your grade for His and Hers?
His and Hers. Well, I will say I had the opportunity to read the book before watching the series. The book was better, and we'll talk about it in this recap. But I'll give the series, I'll give it a B plus. It was entertaining. Of course, I love the fact that Tessa Thompson is not only the star, but she produced it. You know, this was an ugly story, and I liked how everything was unfolded. And when it comes to thrillers, I'm always big on, figuring it out, who done it. And I had not figured it out. So I was like, okay, kudos.
I thought I did. But agreed. I also gave this B plus range. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Even the ending, which we'll get into. I thought that the pacing was good. I love Tessa Thompson and these monochromatic outfits, ensembles.
You noticed them too.
And that she wore.
Jewel color. So jewel color, monochromatic. I was taking notes, Ashley. I was like, I see you red. I see you blue. I see
green.
You. Yes.
She looked good. She looked good.
She did.
So her and her mother, Alice, as well as her relationship with her husband in this show, Jack, was all just very interesting. And I was trying to figure out the dynamics between everybody, because we basically have, Tessa going back to her hometown. And so we're just trying to figure it out along the way as to what everyone's motives are, I feel like, in this series. So, spoiler alert, let's get into it. The show wasn't playing with y'all. First out the gate, episode 1, we have a woman bleeding out on the roof of her car out in the woods. We're in small town USA, rural Georgia, a town called Dahlonega, close to ATL. And this is the first homicide they've had in a decade, notes the lead detective on the case, Jack Harper. Meanwhile, we have Anna Andrews, who reemerges after apparently being gone for a year. She lost a child, unfortunately, and she has been replaced at work by a white woman in the Atlanta market. What did you think about that, Delora, in terms of the dynamics of her workplace when she reemerges after a year? She is a television news personality and has been replaced.
I thought it was interesting because, and I'll say this now. It's interesting because the books are British, right? So coming into the series, I was like, okay, how are they going to adapt it for a black woman, right? And in what city? Because in the books, because it's a British book, it's like, well, London's the big city, and there's in some small little, sheep town, what have you. And so I loved how they did the, southern town in Georgia, Atlanta being the hub, as we all know. And so I thought it was a bold move to have um the face of this station be replaced with a blonde hair, white-eyed woman in Atlanta. I'm like, y'all are it's giving, oh, so this is 2025 and y'all just are trying to get in line, right? Is this what y'all doing?
I mean, one could say she's a diversity hire in Atlanta, chocolate city, one of the chocolate cities out here, one of the black meccas. I would say if I were living in Atlanta, this would piss me off. That's for sure. Because if anywhere should be reflective and have black talent, I want it to be markets like Atlanta, DC, Houston, Detroit.
Right.
This would piss me off.
I will
So
say I did not know who Jim was truly siding on. I feel
he
like
didn't
at the
have a
end of the
side.
day, thank you. It was giving whoever's going to give me the best ratings.
Yes,
I'm on her side.
he has no allegiance to anything but the ratings and the needs of the station. He doesn't care. He doesn't actually care about the talent. So that was
Mm,
pretty obvious. He kissed whoever's ass could deliver. And so she comes in, she's asking Jim for that job back. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, baby girl. We had to go ahead and let Lexi do her thing. So in order to fight to rebuild, she pitches going to Delanaga to cover that case of the murder she's imagining is the case that has happened in her hometown. She chooses Lexi's husband, Richard, to be her cameraman, and she got that man in bed within hours.
I I think it's interesting because it definitely plays Anna up in this version to be vindictive. Like, oh, so you're gonna take my seat? I'll take your husband. Thank you very much.
I didn't even feel like she was trying to take her husband so much as like show that girl ain't
She
nothing you
could.
got safe. Yeah, like
Yes.
if I
Yes.
want to, when I want to, I can have this, I can have that, I can have
Yes.
him, and ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it. I mean, I was impressed by the speed at which he dropped them pants. Like I was impressed because I'm thinking like, oh yeah, she's doing this to spite you, and maybe she'll flirt a little and whatever. She barely had to pull out any stops to get that man in the sack. So he was waiting. He was waiting and ready,
I
clearly.
think this was also due to some other reasons too, though. She was like, if he's my current, if you we go, this is going to her and him.
I wonder if she had seen Richard prior to requesting him. Because what if Richard was a troll? You know? So had she at least sized up the goods before she asked him to come? Hopefully.
Well, in the books, they had a whole torrid affair.
Wow.
That like she went out into the field and she was assigned him, and she's like, oh shoot, I'm assigned him.
Let's get it
So I
popping.
think, and so I thought that was very, very interesting that she has this choice in the show, because again, with the choice in the show, she can that one fuck is a fu to multiple people, you know.
Yeah. Because Jack, Detective Harper, tracks her down at her hotel after she makes an appearance at the crime scene and gets to hear the full show between her and Richard. Because it turns out, again, as we've already said, Jack and Anna are married, baby. So, yeah, it was definitely some, you know, I'm going to live my life and you're going to have to witness it.
What they say, tit for tat.
Tit for tat. After her afternoon delight was interrupted, Anna goes to visit her mother, Alice, and Jack rolls up too. She gets him to tell her who the victim was, Miss Rachel Hopkins, an alleged friend of Anna's. And during this catch up that they have, they discuss the fact that Alice seems unwell, seems like she's suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, as they found her in the early AM walking naked recently.
Mm.
We also learned that Jack was living in Atlanta previously, but lost his job when he was out looking for Anna during that year that she disappeared. So there was a lot discussed, there was a lot revealed. I think the insistence by Jack that Rachel was her friend and then she said we weren't close definitely was revelatory to me, because I was like, again, trying to figure out who these people are in this town and
Right.
what, like, connect the dots. And Alice being, sick was heartbreaking, because when she first walked in the door, I thought maybe she was dead when she was sleeping. But then to find out that she's not, allegedly not doing well and possibly suffering, that made me sad too, because I was like, you're here living by yourself. Your daughter was missing for a year. Who's been looking after you? It looks like at least Jack has been
Right.
stopping by. But it made me sad to think that she was possibly dealing with this on her own. And so I
Right.
started to think maybe it's a good thing that Anna was forced to come back to Dahlonega. Maybe this is going to be for the benefit of her relationship with her mother, if nothing else.
That and the fact that Jack had been so hands-on. Um, but again, she abandoned him too. So I'm
Yeah.
sure he would have kept her up to date if she had returned some phone calls.
Hmm. Anna ends up reporting on that info that Jack gave her, even though she said she wouldn't, on her 6 o'clock newscast. Was she wrong
Messy.
for that?
I think technically, yes, she's wrong for that because he said that to her in confidence. But I feel like she also is very clear on her ambitions and what she's trying to do. And she just took an L from
But she's
him.
a reporter. You really thought
Yeah.
she was gonna hold
I
that
don't
in?
know. Is there some type of like oath that reporters take? Like,
No,
you said no.
this is not the medical field. There is no
There's no
oath.
fiduciary, oaths you need to take.
No. I mean, the hope is that if you're a good journalist and a good reporter, that, you're abiding by journalistic integrity, obviously. But in this case, Jack is just a source. And so she said, I got to do what I got to do, baby. And in this case, I think for me, yes, I agree it was probably wrong, but at the same time, I wanted her to beat Lexi. So I didn't care. In a flashback to the night of Rachel's murder, we see it was Jack who was sexing this woman up in the back of his truck. And Anna was outside watching. I put in my notes,
Yep.
baby, the tea is hot in Dahlonega.
Ugh.
So you telling me that fresh semen that was found in her corpse belongs to the lead detective on the case?
Insanity. Insanity. And again, knowing the history that Anna and Rachel has. And he's just, Jack, I was unimpressed with Jack as a character. Because it's like, are you even good at your job? Like you're so busy trying to cover up bad behavior, but it's like, what are you actually doing? Like, he felt very manic to me, you know what I mean?
He was kind of trying to cover them tracks. As soon as he found out that the woman he had sexed up was the murder victim found, because you could see his face as I watched it the second time. You could see his face shifting as he's
Yeah.
noting where they're going, whose car he's seeing, all that. Like you could see the wheels turning in his head. And then it makes so much more sense when he was like snippy with the other police. Like, if you don't need to be here, go up to the top. If you find this phone, you don't touch it, you give it to me. All of it made more sense because you realize that he's covering his ass,
Yeah.
because if this came to light, everyone would look at him likely as the prime suspect. He was with the victim the night of her murder at the crime scene. So, did you ever suspect that Jack was her murderer based off of these details?
I have to say, my prime suspects for the show was Jack and Anna and one other character you haven't spoken about yet. Those are my top three suspects.
I have to say, I never suspected Jack. I don't know
It's so funny. David said the
why,
same thing,
but he was
but
never on
I
my
did.
list.
So for me, I thought it was him for the first. I didn't think it was him for the other murders. So when it became more serial, I didn't think he was the murder, but
When it was just Rachel's body out there.
yeah.
So when Jack and his partner, Priya, finally have a chat with Rachel's husband, her infidelity was no secret to him. He's rich, he provided the lifestyle she wanted, but he had health issues that kept him from performing. Did Clyde seem genuine as a grieving widower when they first started talking to him?
He did. He definitely gave off, I married a pretty hot wife who obviously married me for money. This is our arrangement. I didn't kill that bitch.
Heavy on the bitch. Heavy on the bitch.
Literally.
I did not think the grief was genuine, even when they talked to him for the first time. I was just kind of like, there's something like, y'all are messy here. So what was really good? You and your wife had an arrangement and you knew she was out here sleeping with other people. So did you like to watch? Are you messing with other people too? What does that look like? So I started thinking, did you murder her for some reason? Did a lover of yours murder her for some, like what was happening within the confines of this marriage? It just left me with a lot of questions. So
Mhm.
in the meantime, Anna is also lurking and interviewing, and she goes and has a chat with Helen Wang, BFF to Rachel and headmistress of a local school for girls, St. Hilary's. It was quite a venomous conversation. Anna went to that school, as did Helen, Rachel, and Jack's sister, Zoe. And it seemed like a toxic little group based off of some of the flashbacks and information that we get from their time together at St. Hilary's.
Yep.
I think this was like Mean Girls on steroids a little bit.
Definitely. Um, and you know, I was disappointed in Anna though, maybe because I had high expectations because only black girl in the group. But with the with the antics that went on, I'm like, girl, you're not gonna call Rachel out on this like at all. Oh, she's being mean, blah blah blah. Like, call it the thing a thing. Let her know this ain't okay.
I think it can be tough at certain ages to stand up for yourself a little bit more in scenarios like that, especially if she's like the HBIC. But
Yeah.
cruelty is different to me than just like general oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm ruling the school energy. Like to piss
Hmm.
in a Coke
Is
and give it
who
to a fellow student
thinks
is cruel.
of that? Who thinks of that?
At like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel was cruel. And to your point also about, Anna and her coming into this clique, she was younger than them, I believe. I think they were older than she was when
Hmm.
she first started. And then some of them are also wealthy, right? Like her
Yeah.
and Jack's sister Zoe are the scholarship kids or whatever you want to call it. They're not
Right.
rich and have that family money and what have you that some of the other girls do. So it could have been some of that too, like the power dynamics of coming in when your mom is the cleaning lady for some of these other students' families.
Right.
So she was probably trying to get in where she could fit in and keep her mouth shut and get through school. Jack wasn't doing his job by the books, as we've mentioned, trying to cover his ass. So he ends up having his little niece contaminate a DNA swab that he had to turn in. Tries to break into Rachel's phone, lies to get into the morgue to get to her body for facial recognition. Um, the way that he was going about things, you said it didn't seem like he's good at his job. He also didn't seem very smart to me in certain ways. Like you have your niece contaminate a DNA swab. The lab's going to note it, and you think they're just going to say, okay, we accept this. Don't worry about it. Wouldn't they say, no, we're just going to need a fresh DNA sample from you right here on the spot? You go to the morgue and lie about you looking for your wedding ring. You didn't think maybe that would come back to bite you in the ass later?
I thought it was really interesting how he kept managing to walk away from it. I'm like, I thought they would have to take those tests, like you said, standing right
On the
there
spot.
on the spot, and then you could leave. Maybe not wait for your results, but the desperation was crazy.
I just didn't think anything he was doing was very smart. And maybe he knew he could get away with more again because it's Delanaga. I felt like he kept playing kind of into that of, oh, it's just Delanaga. Oh, it's just Delanaga. Oh. So it must be some of that in terms of negligence to an extent. I hate to say
Hmm.
it like that, but I thought it wasn't smart. He was trying to steer Priya into suspecting Clyde and Helen. And yet, halfway through the season, another dead body. This time it's Helen. As you mentioned, we're in serial killer territory now. And it seems clear that the group that Anna ran with back as a teenager is being taken out. Friendship bracelets from school that they all had is being found in each of the victims' mouths, which is icing on the cake, like calling card serial killer type stuff.
Right.
Who's killing these women? You mentioned you had one additional person on your suspect list. Who is that?
At this time, I was thinking it's one of the chicas in the clique, Catherine. I mean, she technically wasn't a part of the clique, but the one who was eventually invited into the circle occasionally, Catherine, because they humiliated her and things like that. I was like, well, maybe she did it.
When Helen got killed, Anna was my number one suspect. I
Well,
was
she was
like,
there.
huh.
She was there at the school. How convenient was that?
Not only was she there, but she was smirking when
Yep.
they came in. And I was like,
And she
Anna, are
made
you
like a
murking these
really
girls?
she made a joke too about it. But she had no love lost for Helen at all.
At all. Like you sitting here looking at her dead body with her eyes messed up, like liar on her forehead, and you just cheesing like it's another Saturday. She was focused again on her story and what she could do to get more and more, ratings. So she gets the mayor to agree to a town hall that turns sour when residents turn on each other. This was actually pretty masterful manipulation, if you ask me. I was actually very impressed and terrified by how easily we are persuaded into certain behaviors.
Mm, hmm. I did feel like this was definitely a scene that wasn't in the book, but to your point, I think it served a larger purpose of like understanding Anna and her motivations and ambition. Like she will do whatever it takes to get her back to the number one spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let the chips fall where they may. That's kind of how she was. um that's the vibe I got from her.
Yeah. Now I've worked in news for many years, and I have not seen this level of like cutthroat journalism. Then again, I did not work in like the Atlanta market, so it could be different based on the market and the talent that is in that market. That's absolutely true. But I was like, damn, you got to be a little bit of a sociopath. That's the way it came across. Like you got to be a little more detached than seems normal to do this job and do it really, really well. And
Mm.
I hope that's not the reality for a lot of like journalists and reporters to feel that they have to kind of detach from their humanity a little bit to do
Get
this
the
work.
story.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi comes to town to try to one up Anna because she can't stand that this girl's getting her shine. She gets a exclusive, if we want to call it that, with Clyde, the widower, offering a $50,000 reward for Rachel's killer. I felt that this was a pitiful attempt at one-upping Anna when I saw inevitably what they got. Who cares that she got an interview with Clyde? Who cares that he's offering a $50,000 reward for her killer? What value did that really add to the story? Hardly any.
I would agree. I felt like I do feel like he thought he was giving her a little bit more than he had, given Anna previously. But
I think if
I
Anna
think
had
it
seen
also
more
shows,
value, she would have interviewed him herself.
yeah. Well, she did interview him top of the morning before Jack showed up.
I mean, like as the case is proceeding, as things are
Got
ramping
it.
up, if she had
Mm-hmm.
seen value in more, I think she would have gotten more. Of course, you
Mm-hmm.
interview him at first. At this point, we've seen Clyde. We've talked to Clyde. What it didn't it didn't move the needle the way that I think Lexi was hoping it was going to move the needle. And it also showed me a contrast in their abilities in terms of being a field reporter. I think Lexi's gotten comfortable behind that desk because I didn't feel the heat. Meanwhile, in a heart to heart between Jack and Anna, Anna essentially left, she says, disappeared because she felt Jack was rushing her grief. She needed to hold on to the pain of losing their daughter and grieve in her own time. This was a great scene, in my opinion, because for
Mm-hmm.
one, it showed a lot about the way that I was feeling about Jack. Like even though he's a detective and a cop, I was like, you feel very
Yeah.
dismissive of the
Mm-hmm.
reality of things. I don't know how else to put that. Like you're not concerned enough about a lot of things to me. And so then to hear that she felt like the way he went about things was it's fine, you'll be fine, the baby was fine. That made a lot of sense in terms of his style, but also men and women to me.
Yeah.
But there were difference between the genders. I was conflicted about whether or not I was rooting for this couple. Did I want them to reconcile?
It's funny that you see that because I had that conversation with Dave too. I was like, did you ever want them to be together? And he was like, well, it's not a love story. But I'm like, it is still a factor in the dynamic, especially
Listen to
because it's
Dave.
like,
I don't care.
well, especially because their relationship plays a major role. Reading the book, I promise you, on my Goodreads account, I got to a point in the story where I was like, this is a cesspool. Like, their relationship matters along with their relationship with all those girls from that clique
Mm-hmm.
and the relationships to their town and community. And it's like y'all know each other way too well as far as I'm
That's what
concerned.
happens when you in these towns. That's what happens.
Because for me, the one thing they did not do enough of is Rachel is diabolical. And I feel like they toned her down a little bit in the series. Um, because honestly, they didn't have the time to build it up, but um she preyed on Anna. And when we know about Jack and Anna's relationship and, what caused the rift in their relationship, and to know that she so happens to be fucking her husband, to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like, you are the worst kind of bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so did I want them back together? I don't know. Because honestly, two broken people. My only thing is like, how do you move forward?
Yeah, yeah. Because even beyond them, their personalities and what have you, the loss of a child is a tremendous thing to overcome. Tremendous.
Huge.
Well, they do end up doing the deed in that same fucking truck.
First of all, I was like, ew. I'm like, weren't you just here?
Did you clean the seats? Did you clean anything? Okay. She did. She was like, yo, I gotta go. Thank you. I gotta go. Priya, Jack's partner, puts a target on Anna's back as a suspect. What did you think about Priya in the series as she is working with Jack and trying to figure things out by his side?
Priya for me was the calm amidst the Jack storm, because he was literally, I imagine him like the tornado from the Tasmanian devil, you know what I mean? Ripping and running through town, causing all types of chaos and confusion. And she's just sitting over here like, 1 + 1 = 2. Should y'all be on this case? Your sister's part of the clique. Should you be reporting this? You were part of this clique. You know what I mean? Like, she was actually calling a thing a thing.
I wanted her to actually say something to Jack earlier about some of the things she was uncovering. Like when she found out he had put a stop to the trace on Rachel's phone and like
Yeah.
the logs of who she was talking to, I was like, girl, go in his office right now and ask him, like, what the fuck is really good? Like you could tell she was seeing him as a little bit of a mentor figure at the start of the
Yeah.
case and trying to learn from him. Again, she's coming from Boston. He calls her Boston throughout the show. He's coming from Atlanta. He has these years of experience, whatever. But it was like, Priya, you seeing the signs, baby. There's some things are afoot. You heard the story that he was looking for his wedding ring. You know that wasn't right. Go ahead and confront this man now. But she took her time. She threw Anna out there as a suspect, and the sheriff was like, "All right, go ahead and run with that, and go ahead and do an interview." Meanwhile, Rachel and Helen were blackmailing someone named C from text messaging. Jack was convinced it was Clyde, but Clyde wasn't having it. I love the scene where Jack goes over there and confronts Clyde, and Jack should have the power, but he absolutely does not. Clyde was like, wow, okay, well, I know you were the one sleeping with her, Jay, from those text messages, and I'm about to go talk to your boss, so you better get you a hell of a good lawyer.
So to me, that's when I was really fed up with Jack, because I was like, you are spiraling, sir. You are spiraling. Y'all know what it was even the first time you came over. So you coming back again? And then he was like, where you get that video from, huh? Like,
Exactly.
you like how you know I'm draining down her phone, calling her over and over again. And that's when I was like, Jack sucks at his job. Like,
He was definitely messy and leaving trails everywhere he went. And I was like, oh shit, you about to get fired. Like, and worse than that, you probably about to become the prime suspect in this case. So Jack got a
easy.
tip that Rachel went to Atlanta and visited someone that slapped her in the face. That was thanks to Clyde's reward. It was at this point that I had a strong idea that Lexi was Catherine from school because Catherine's out here
Really?
in the ether. And I'm like, so who else would have slapped Rachel? Who else lives in Atlanta? Who else could C be? I was like, oh, baby, Lexi is Catherine. My theory at this point, too, was that Lexi and Anna were working together to take these bitches out. Like,
Interesting.
because Catherine
Yeah.
got a whole new face and personality now. She's Lexi. So I kept
Yeah.
thinking back to that interaction they had at the station where she comes in and she's like, oh, it's Lexi, right? And I'm thinking like, oh, they was playing the game of, oh, we don't really know each other that well. It come to find out they plotted this whole thing. That was my thought right now. Jack's sister Zoe started to worry that she was next for good reason.
This is the only time Zoe made sense to me out of the whole thing. I hated Zoe. Like, I know I hated Rachel, and I really do. She's still probably number one, but Zoe was a close number two for me.
What about
Um,
Helen?
Helen was bad too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also going off of like Helen to me isn't as bad as the other two because um she was never like the mastermind behind it. But I mean, don't get me wrong, going along with it is not anything to be proud of either. But when it comes to Zoe in particular, it's like she knew what she did and still lied to her brother, making Anna seem like, oh, well, you don't really know who she is.
Right. Right. And she was like, Anna never told you about what happened to her 16th birthday? Oh, at the time I didn't think it was a big deal, but it was an incident that probably got out of hand.
And then they aged up the baby. The fact that she had that poor baby in the house by herself doing Lord knows what. Ah, because in the books, the baby was a baby. And that was actually more painful for Anna than not because
Yeah, because she lost her baby.
she lost her baby. But to see that sweet little girl being like, oh, I don't know, but mom said sit here and watch TV being gone, I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, she
And they had
definitely
the
came
nerve to
across as
have
trash mom.
the worst attitude. Ugh.
Yeah. 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 She was no good. Like any good thriller, though, she gets interrupted before she can actually spill the tea to us and to Jack about what happened at this damn 16th birthday. Again, to be a detective, Jack was ridiculously delusional and dismissive. Your sister is in a clique where two of the members have been murdered and their friendship bracelets found stuffed down their throats. But you're not worried at all about your sister? You're a police detective. Okay. I would have had my sister under surveillance and security.
You would think, unless subconsciously he probably was like, if it's gonna happen to her, it's
Oh,
gonna happen.
wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I hope not, Jack. I hope, she may be trash to us, but that's still your
Jack
sister.
did not have that much forethought at all. That's why that was a joke. Jack is running ragged.
Trying to cover his ass. Well, it turns out the apartment that Rachel visited when she got slapped was rented by cameraman Richard. When Jack confronts him, Richard mentions he was actually in Canada shooting a film. So, Jack, who else would be there? Who else would be in an apartment of a married man? His wife, perhaps. But Jack gets distracted by a comment about his own wife and he assaults Richard. To keep Richard from pressing charges, Anna tells him that she'll tell Lexi that they banged. Do you think that was fair to kind of dangle that over him? I feel like at that moment they both came to the realization that like, oh, she behind, she got her husband's back, she ain't got my back. But as she should, maybe.
You know what? At the end of the day is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is Anna's gonna be on camera. She gonna do her job. The news will be told. At the end of the day, Jack will not be at the mercy of this random cameraman. Okay. I
Not
know we had a
random.
moment, but that man is still my husband, and we ain't gonna go there.
Correct. Jack does get kicked off the case, and his sister does get murdered
Finally.
in the bathtub.
Whew. Child.
Anna and Richard's rooms are released by some mysterious phone call from a woman claiming to be from their station. So, coincidentally, Richard's in laws have a place close by that he offers to use so that they can finish up their work. The unease I felt as a Black person seeing her go to a deserted backwoods ass lake house with no cell service.
No, thank you.
She looks around the house. She starts looking at pics on the wall. I'm getting chills thinking about it. Baby, suspicions confirmed. Catherine is Lexi. Lexi is Catherine. And in a flashback, we see that sister of Lexi's who died, well, that was by Lexi's own hand. When she was still Catherine, she emptied her sister's inhaler before they went out on a boat. Jesus. What perfect timing, though, to set up the idea that, again, this is all being done by Lexi herself, these murders. And now, obviously, it's like, Anna, Buck, you've been taken to a house for slaughter. What are we going to do?
So I will say that Catherine was my other murder suspect. And to me, it was perfect, right? She was bullied. The night of the 16th birthday, she was actually the one that got it affected the most out of everyone. And so it's like, let me go ahead, get my life together, and then I'm gonna come back for you bitches. You know what I mean?
Take you all out.
In the book, they did not do anything prequel. Like they speak of her sister's death, but she had no hand in it. So I think it was interesting that they definitely played up this sinister streak.
Yeah. And I think that was helpful too, because you realize ain't none of them that was in that clique good, right? They all had
exactly
had their ish. And to be fair, Catherine's the worst. She was a murderer. She intentionally killed her sister.
Yeah.
So it seemed like things are about to get ugly. And Anna calls Jack, who obviously is distraught over his sister's murder, but he is on his way, right? And just as Jack is running out to help, Priya comes by. Again, I felt like Priya should have confronted Jack a while ago. So at this point, she's pissing me off. Like, now you want to hold this man at gunpoint? Priya, sit your ass down. Like, I was happy when he knocked her out. I'm sorry.
Same.
But I got to go save my Black wife.
Go save your Black wife.
Like, what are we saying? I ain't got time for this. That.
No mountain too high. No, I ain't got time for this. Too low.
Correct. Anna ends up fighting Lexi's ass for real. When I tell you, they was throwing bows, they was throwing each other at the tables. I said, God damn.
I thought it was hilarious, but needed, of course.
Jack rolls up, as does Priya. And man, Priya is a crack shot. She shoots Lexi in the head from outside. I was impressed. I gotta say, especially after the foolishness at Jack's house. I was impressed. The version of events on that fateful 16th birthday that Anna tells Jack about has Catherine as the victim, being attacked by random men invited by Rachel to a party in the woods while the other guys, not the other guys, well, I mean, essentially some of the other guys, but the other girls watched. In my notes, I had though, but what about Anna? You're saying the other girls sat back and watched, but Anna, where were you? What happened to you? So we see Richard get arrested as the police find a knife and what appears to be Rachel's nails at the lake house during a search. But wait, we still have so much time left in this episode. We
Yeah.
flash forward to 1 year later. Anna is back behind that anchor desk in Atlanta and she's preggers. Her and Jack are solid again, taking care of his niece. They go visit her mama, who's left a letter for Anna in her room. So here we go with the much talked about grand reveal. It was Alice all along, Anna's mama, who murdered these women. When Anna disappeared, she watched her old tapes that Anna used to record herself on, and she caught the one from Anna's 16th birthday party. The truth of that night is that Anna, when interrupted the guys trying to attack Catherine, and instead they attack her. They rape Anna, and Catherine flees, and the other girls watch and sing happy birthday like some little psycho bitches. Alice lost her shit, used that anger, fueled to go kill all of them. And then it makes so much sense the second time you watch and you realize that every time she's discovered walking out naked was following one of the murders. But I never suspected her.
Absolutely.
Never in a
Never.
million years.
Never. Um, Not at all. Because you expect you expect it to be a person who was literally in that mess. Um,
Or directly adjacent in some type of way.
mhm.
I mean, she's adjacent, but little Alice, who allegedly has dementia, out here murking? Because
Right.
these are vicious murders, right? It's not like she just took a gun, pow, pow.
Exactly.
Anna seemingly accepted this truth as we wrap up the series. She reads the letter, she smirks at her mama. It's like, all right, ma, appreciate you. You did what you had to do. Give me your final thoughts on the series.
I have to say, with the big reveal of it actually being her mother was kind of touching. Like, I don't know what it was, but she was just like, the things you would do for your babies, okay? And she looked at her like, and did, right?
I did what I had to do, girl.
Oh my gosh. It was a really, really great adaptation. Didn't see um who did what. Haven't read the books. I will say that um the books were really good for different reasons. So like the big reveals of like, oh, they're married or they were married, and then you found out why they weren't together. It was all unfolded. And as I mentioned, I feel like you really got a chance to see the cruelty of the girls and how they got there, because honestly, it was real ugly. Like, trigger warnings. Anna, new girl, Rachel took her under her wing and essentially started grooming her, and she didn't know what that meant. And essentially prepping her for her 16th birthday to be sold off to men. How horrific is that? And
Diabolical.
then diabolical. But the thing that's funny to me is Anna ultimately got a chance to get up. Catherine did not. So they switched that in the show, which I think was interesting, because at the end of the day, Catherine was looking at Anna like, you ruined my life. You ruined my life because, one, you kept inviting me over to hang out with y'all. It always ended the worst for me. And then two, um, Anna's character was temporarily on the station's lead reporter because Lexi was on maternity leave. She returns to maternity leave, and she was trying to figure out like what can I do to keep my foot in the door. That's when she did the field report or whatever. And so in the big climax with Catherine, she was like, you did all this stuff to high school. You see me as an adult. You don't even remember me. You fucked my husband. I was like, oh my goodness, you can't win, child. You cannot win. So anyway, Tessa Thompson did an amazing job. Again, the monochromatic moments were so much fun. Her relationship with Jack, I will say this. Was I rooting for them actively? Not really, but what I did feel for them was that they were both broken people who have done bad things. Um, and they still like held a candle for each other. You know what I mean? And I'm like, y'all could just go ahead and come together again. And so to see them make a new family, I thought was beautiful. And the last thing I will say as I compare the books to this film, two things. Anna was an alcoholic and an unreliable narrator. Anna's mother was an alcoholic and also dealt with dementia. Um, Anna and her mom moved into that small town with their father. The father was abusive, and then one day he left. He didn't really leave. Mama killed him. And so Mama got bodies. And I think it's interesting that they decided not to do that for this retelling. And I think I'm actually glad that they didn't because they took the chance of making these main characters Black. I'm glad that they didn't go into the whole abusive Black man narrative.
Yeah.
And then it also wasn't given all my life I had to fight.
Good point. I also think based on how you're describing it, like I like that, we have solid footing to know that Anna's who we're rooting for. Like the idea of it being a little bit murkier with her and Catherine would have made her Lexi Catherine death a little bit less palatable. And ultimately then the reveal of her mother and what happened and the unfolding of events less palatable as well. So I like that we had a clear cut, hey, Anna was wronged. Unfortunately, her mama said, I got to take y'all out for my baby. So.
And the last thing I was going to say, so I didn't get a chance to watch the series with David, but I was like, please watch the show. I need to know what your thoughts are. So he watched the show, and in the beginning, he was like, "Is she okay?" Like her face was rough, and she had like the dental issue, and the dentist was like, "We either can pull it out, or you can just keep nursing it with the drugs." And of course, she goes on with the drugs. What I told Dave, I was like, yeah, I don't know what that was all about because that definitely wasn't in the book. And he was like, oh, well, it's character development. It shows you like how she handles her problems. Like, do you extract them right away or do you bury them? And I'm like, look at you, sir.
Okay, psychology.
Look at you, sir. So she's the type of person that would rather hold on to that hurt and keep it going, because essentially that's what she did. She never told anybody about what happened to her in her 16th birthday.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously very traumatic as well. But that's, psychology. That's a good point that was made there. And also the fact that she had gone a year without going to the dentist, only went to the dentist when it reached that point, says a lot about her as well. But anyway, thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. My final thoughts are, I know there was much talked about with this end and that it turned very Tyler Perry-ish. But I will tell y'all.
Because Sis was in a Tyler Perry movie before.
And also because it kind of felt, for some people, like over the top. Like, oh, suddenly the mama's out here murking people and da-da-da. I didn't feel that way though. I felt like what happened for me as a viewer is I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I felt satisfied that, yo, I got y'all. Ooh, I solved it. So I was pleasantly surprised that all along y'all were trying to reel me into this version of events only to blindside me by the fact that I was incorrect and I really didn't know what was happening. So I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. I like a thriller that I can't easily guess what happened and why. And
Who
this was
was your person
definitely,
again?
what'd you say?
Who was your person that you were putting it on?
I thought it was Anna and Lexi working together
Got it.
until
Okay.
Anna got lured, and then I just thought it was Lexi.
Hmm.
So I'm loving that you guys bamboozled me, and that this is not one that anybody can easily guess who that killer is. So good job, good job. All right, let's move into our hidden gems. Delora, what you got for the week?
I have two hidden gems this week. We talked a little bit about, I said that way too fast. We talked a little bit about this during our episode last week. I am talking about the new show Pole to Pole with Will Smith. It is available on National Geographic, Hulu, and Disney. I have watched the first three episodes. What I will say is visually stunning, the places that he goes to, really intrigued by the people that he meet in terms of like the scientists and the um the locals. I'm also super impressed with his overall physical health. Like, he's climbing mountains, he's um you know I forget what they call it on when you're holding on to the string and you're going down into caves to milk spiders. Like, this man is doing these things, and it's quite fascinating. And for me, it's inspiring. So I'm having a good time. And of course, his personality is A1. And my second hidden gem is the novel His and Hers. So, yes, I know I talked a lot about it during this recap, but uh genuine 5-star book, and I don't be passing out 5 stars, okay? And it was my first time reading the novel from the author Alice Finney. I actually heard about some of her other books like Rock, Paper, Scissors, and then there was another one everybody like talks about. Yeah, Daisy Darker. So I'm like, and the guest list. I'm like, okay, great. So now I'm gonna actually have to read them because my issue when it comes to these type of books is I'm rarely gagged, like I want to be entertained. But really, really excited about the book and glad I got a chance to read it before watching the series. Um, because both projects are done very well.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
how about you, Ashley?
I have two as well. My first one is a couple years old, but it's a hidden gem for me because I went back and watched it over the weekend. That is The Penguin on HBO. We've done the bundle, so I was going and revisiting what HBO had to offer, and I was like, let me give The Penguin another shot. I started it in a hotel in Chicago when it first came out, and I was not too impressed. And so I set it to the side, and man, I was wrong. I went back, got past that first episode or two, and was hooked. And when I tell y'all, season two, watch out, y'all better bring it because season one, it's a lot. I have a lot of feelings. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't get into the good of it. But if you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of the DC universe, even if you're not, because I have a friend who didn't even realize this was a direct extension of that Batman film with Robert Pattinson. I was like, yes, you have to go back and watch the film to fully understand the series. It picks up directly after that movie. So even if you don't, I guess it can still blow you away. So enjoy. The Penguin, HBO, came out in 2024. My second one is new. It's Ponies on Peacock, starring Amelia Clark, or Khaleesi, and Haley Lou Richardson. This is about them working as secretaries in the American embassy in the Soviet Union after their husbands die under mysterious circumstances, working in the CIA. So it's a little bit, like time capsule because it's set back in the 70s. It's, intrigue, a little bit of a thrill, enough right now that it's keeping me invested. I haven't finished the series yet, so we'll see if it lives up to its promise. But right now, I'm enjoying it. I think it's worth a watch. So that's Ponies on Peacock. Ponies on Peacock. Okay, alliteration. All right, that's it. That's all for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this recap of His and Hers. Feel free to check out the book as well as Delora did, since she gave it 5 stars. Please share this episode out with everybody you know. We so appreciate it. We'll be back with more. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.